Julie, darling, is it a pecan or a pecan?
I do.
That is the question
know.
for our next guest. That's right. Sarah Roberts joining us from SarahTalksFood.com. Sarah, welcome to the show.
Well,
What is it?
thank
Is
you.
it pecan or pecan?
Do you know what's hilarious? I say pecans,
I
and
do.
I say pecan pie.
Yeah.
Oh, that's true.
That's
so do
true.
I.
This person, I'm
That's
so
true.
glad I'm not
My
alone.
wife makes fun of me when I say pecans.
Oh,
or I
pecans.
say pasta.
Do you say aunt or aunt?
I say aunt.
See?
Yeah.
I say aunt.
I think pecan is an American affectation along with aunt.
Really?
For sure.
I do.
Okay, I'm glad we had
I
this
do.
talk. Sarah,
Yeah.
what are we talking food about
and
today?
And I would agree that pecans is sort of the way that it's said in, because in the Americas, that's where the pecan or pecan came from. And so they're really popular in a lot of cuisine. Of course, in the U.S., we see pecan pie, pecan pie all the time. And often paired with maple syrup, often paired with lots of nice seasoning. And so what we're going to do today is the sweet and spicy nuts that I brought last time.
They were a huge hit.
Yeah.
And if my dad is watching, you ate almost all of mine. Yeah.
Because I
He
did
just kept coming back.
I know.
And at the end of the show, remember? He just kept watching. So
It
my
was
dad's a
hilarious.
volunteer on the show
So I
Mondays
left
and
them.
Thursdays, so she
Yeah.
left them, and my dad ate pretty much all of them.
It was a loss
So
cause.
Dad, this is
Yeah.
for you,
Here's
this
one
recipe.
for you.
He doesn't cook. I'll have to make him myself. Okay.
I'll leave you with that and you can take it to him when we're done. So all I've done here is I've taken a cup and a half of pecans, we're going to use that word,
Okay.
and I'm just putting it on the stove on medium heat. And I'm going to do this for about 4 or 5 minutes. They're just going to stay on the stove.
Okay.
Once the heat's nice and hot, and this is a new oven, so or stove, sorry, so I'm not sure how hot we're getting, but once they're nice and toasted, yeah, we're not quite at...
crank her
It's
up there.
TV. We'll just
Crimp
pretend
wrap,
it's
for
really
sure.
hot.
We're gonna. Why don't Julia let you do this? You're gonna pop in some coconut oil. You can use the spatula. So I kind of make a little center, a middle spot where I can put that
Okay.
in.
This is literally the warmest, coldest coconut oil all summer.
Well, and I figured I'd bring it cold because I thought that it would have to. I did. I wanted it to nicely melt.
Right.
So
Yeah.
what you're gonna do is just kind of coat all of the pecans. You're gonna get it nice and coated. Let's just really.
Now,
crank
why
Crank it right
coconut
up.
oil over olive oil, for
Good
example?
question. So I love coconut oil. It's one of the only medium chain triglyceride oils that we get. It's just hard to get that in our diet. And so coconut oil acts differently than other types of oils. It doesn't convert to fat. So it's not stored as fat in the body. So it's actually
Excellent.
a great oil to use. Yeah, so we're just going to kind of
I
go
like
with
that.
that.
I don't like storing fat.
No
at
one likes
all.
storing fat at all. So what I've done, once we get started, we can work on this once it gets a little bit hotter.
Okay.
I've made a nice salad. And what I love about doing recipes like these, they are really fast, they're super easy. And what's nice is that you can kind of do this at the last second. If you've got company coming and you want to put a salad on the table, but you actually want it to be a little bit more special. I love adding these pecans. I put fruit like peaches. They're in season right now. It's kind of a nice time to have them. Raspberries, and then goat cheese pairs really, really well with
I love goat
pecans and fruit in a salad for sure.
We should mention too, because last time you were on the show, we did salads, simple
Yep.
salads, right?
Yeah.
And pecans. This mix
Yeah.
was part of the
Yep.
recipe that you had.
Yeah.
And everyone just kept talking about it.
Yeah.
People were emailing you, going, "Hey, I have
Yeah.
a great salad, but
Yeah.
where can I get the pecan
For
spicy?"
sure, for sure.
Right.
That's why I
Sweet
thought
and
we'd do that
spicy,
today.
right?
Yeah, so they're nice and spicy. So what we're going to do is you can go ahead and add the spice blend.
Okay.
And what we've got there is we've got a little bit of salt, so a quarter teaspoon of salt, a quarter teaspoon of cumin, and that just gives that real nice earthy, nutty flavor.
Right.
A full teaspoon of cinnamon, and that's just because cinnamon's an awesome spice because it creates sweetness without adding sugar.
And it also lowers your blood pressure.
For sure it does.
That's true. Yep.
Absolutely. We've also got the cayenne pepper, just a quarter teaspoon, because that's going to make them have that kick. And feel free to adjust the recipe if you really like things
Okay.
spicy. And then we've got turmeric, and I love turmeric because it's a nice anti-inflammatory spice.
It's a miracle spice.
It
with
is.
turmeric.
Miracle spice.
It's true. Everybody,
Yes.
when they come on the show, they always talk about how
Yeah, so just
great
go
is.
for it.
There we go.
Yeah, and so we're just
Okay.
going to stir that in. If the pan was a little bit hotter, you'd want to stand a little bit far away because otherwise it might kind of catch your breath a little bit if you put the seasoning in.
Ah, yes.
Oh, yes.
We're going to
yes.
allow the spices to what they say bloom, which just means to give them a chance to kind of work their magic and
Okay.
and just sort of express a little bit.
Now we're doing stovetop here. Could you do this in the oven as well?
Another great question. So on my blog, I actually have sweet and spicy nuts that are done in the oven. They
Okay.
take a little bit longer, and I use more than just pecans in that. And even in this, you could use more than just pecans. I just really like the pecans.
So you could do a blend of nuts
Totally.
as well for something.
Yeah,
like
so
this.
that one's
Okay.
done with walnuts, almonds, and pecans.
So by adding nuts to a salad, what does that
Yeah.
add to the nutritional profile of a
Great
of a
question.
salad?
Just a lot of fiber, a little bit of protein, great taste. You know, I
Yeah.
think kids will often maybe go for a salad if it's going to taste a little bit better than just a crummy, boring old salad.
We should
So-
talk about your blog too.
Yeah.
Right? So you've got a wonderful blog that focuses on a lot of different things. It's not just about exercise and nutrition.
For
right?
sure. So what I wanted to do with this blog at the beginning was just really talk about food and nutrition and talk about my story, which is, I'm a recovering alcoholic, got sober 13 years ago, and I really just wanted to share my story with people. And then I started finding that other people kind of wanted to share their stories with me. And so it's become more of an inspirational blog even than a food blog, but food's always an element for sure, and exercise too.
And one of our friends here at Rogers TV, Eva
B.
Eva B.
You know
Eva
it.
B's Jamboree. You just
Yeah.
did an interview with her
I
as
did.
well, right?
She is such a fun girl. Oh my gosh. She is just awesome. And what an inspirational girl. She has a story that, she had a food intolerance that was actually contributing to some mental illness that she was dealing
No
with.
kidding.
And so for her, it's just been really powerful to be able to share her story and to move forward. And she was just a girl with a dream. She wanted to go to a cookery school, and
Yeah.
she scrounged the money and found a way to get there. And I just like anybody that, that's inspired and that's inspirational, that can just decide to do something and then go
Yes.
for their dreams.
Yep,
I
yep.
just love it. So another fun thing that I like to do with these dates, once they're done, so that's pretty much done. Again,
Okay.
we would have them a little hotter, they'd go a little more.
Right.
In trail mix. So I like to add just a whole bunch of different nuts and then a few of these, because you don't want to eat a whole pile of these ones, but you can have a few.
Your dad disagrees.
And my dad doesn't
Yeah.
disagree. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. But these here are really fun for an hors d'oeuvre or for just a little snack. They're dates stuffed with goat cheese, and then you just pop in one of these spice nuts on top.
Nice.
Yeah, and they
Awesome.
taste really
And
good.
then
So-
what have you got, like a parfait over there? too?
yeah, so this is just great, again, for kids' lunches maybe, or just for a snack. It's Greek yogurt, and that can be really boring on its own, but paired with peaches, raspberries, nuts, it can just taste really good. So just a few of those nuts add a little bit goes a long way.
Right.
Now you used maple syrup in here. Why that instead of brown sugar?
Yeah, I really don't prefer brown sugar. So it's, again, just sugar. It's not really giving me any nutritional value
Right.
at all. There's chromium in maple syrup and some nice minerals that we want to get, and it's lower on the glycemic index as well.
And
So-
you can get it
just-
locally, too,
and then
which is great.
You
right?
know, it's coming up to
Nectar of the gods.
the fall
Yes.
farmers markets where
Yep.
we stockpile all of that stuff.
Yeah, and then in the spring, of course, we go to the trees and just get the sap right
Exactly.
out of there. for
Now,
sure.
have you done a homemade dressing
So
here? What
that
have you
dressing,
got
I
here?
want to share
It looks
somebody.
like a smoothie.
I know it does, and it tastes like a smoothie. So this girl,
yeah.
this is Megan Gilmore. She's known as the Detoxinista, and I'm inspired hugely
Say
by
that
her.
again. Detoxinista.
Detoxinista.
I like that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I like it
she's
too.
There's a nice
awesome.
title.
Her blog, detoxinista.com, I am so inspired by so many of her recipes. I highly recommend people check her out. And so this is one of her new recipes just on her blog, but
Okay.
the book is also amazing. And so when I saw that dressing recipe, I thought it would pair perfectly with the salad that I brought today.
Very nice.
Yeah, so it's just a peach, a little bit of local honey. It's got apple cider vinegar, which you know that I love,
Mm-hmm.
and then just olive oil.
Oh, peach.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah, so it's a whole peach just thrown in the blender.
So is this recipe on the blog as well?
That's on Detoxinista's blog, but
Okay.
I will link to it from my blog for sure.
Good idea, 'cause I wanna look
will
that
be,
up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's delicious.
It
She's
sounds
fantastic.
fantastic.
Yeah, she's great. And then this recipe I will definitely link to on my blog.
And you take people through your grocery shopping
I do.
routines as well,
For
right?
sure.
Because I think people have a hard time, especially, you go to Costco.
I do.
And I think it's hard for a lot of people to find sort of that nutritional thing that when you think Costco, you probably
Yeah.
think, prepackaged
Yeah,
everything.
yeah.
But they do have a lot of healthy alternatives.
They have
there.
a lot of healthy alternatives, and the thing is that, some people are saying, you really need to shop locally, and I do shop locally. I love supporting our local farmers. I do. I love, the Well just down the road. I love
Yeah.
going to Dusty's Market, which is in Bell's Corners.
I know Dusty's on that long strip there going
amazing
into
place.
Canada, yeah.
Absolutely.
But where can you find 500 pounds of pecans?
Exactly.
Well, it's true.
Costco.
For $15.99.
For $15.99.
Now, it'd be better if we would buy them all organically. This is true.
Right.
And so you can buy those at your local health food store, and that would be the best option. But I think all of us have to balance the idea of being on a budget, having to make
I
recipes
agree.
for the family or for groups. If you've got a cottage and you've got a whole bunch of people coming, you've got to make choices. And so that's what I choose to do. So, for example, the dates that I've used here, these are perfect for one-biters, and that's what I love. I prefer medjool dates, as a
Yes.
rule. They're just juicier, plumper. They're great
Yes,
in
they are.
baking. They're
They're
fantastic.
gorgeous.
They're, again, low on the glycemic index. So even if they're a little bit sweet, and they are really sweet, they're not spiking your blood sugar or raising your insulin. So what I love, though, about these ones is you get these at Costco in a huge bag. I don't remember how much, 12, 13 bucks. And they're Noor dates. They're already pitted. So all you're doing is just
really?
splitting them open, slamming some cheese in there, putting on a pecan, and you're like, I'm a chef.
Doesn't get any
Yeah, it's
easier.
amazing.
I'm
Does
going
not.
to do that. Then I can say, I'm a chef.
Yeah.
Right.
You slam in the cheese.
Yeah, you
Slam
slam
in
it
the
in.
cheese. I love it.
Great with blue cheese as well. I just brought
Oh, I
goat
love
cheese
blue
today, but
cheese.
blue cheese and
Yeah.
a date with a pecan.
A little sweet
Pecan.
in the tart from
Yeah.
the blue cheese.
Oh, yeah.
For sure.
Very
Oh, yeah.
nice. Sarah, always a pleasure having
me
you on the
too.
show. Thank
Thanks
you
so
so
much for
much for
having
being
me.
here.
Thank you.
SarahTalksFood.com to find out more great recipes. And of course, you can follow some great inspirational stories of some local people on there. Kathy Smart, Kathy Donovan's on there, as we mentioned, Eva B. And Eva B will be on the show in a couple of weeks as well, sharing
Yep.
one of her fabulous recipes. We'll be back with more right after this.